with a tiny little piece of fence that allows them to get like 5 feet out the front door, which they use to freak out at you while you're trying to deliver food a few feet away. Like, that dog needs a walk and a stronger owner. Or maybe there's nothing that can be trained into that creature that will allow it to be at the kind of ease. Or maybe it's not a matter of ease at all, and it's just the nature of these creatures to fucking melt down. I was, after all, passing suburban farmland. Definitely, like, there's some goats right there. You know? Gotta guard the goats. Gotta guard the goats, so bark more, not less, is probably smart. Anyway, loud noises. Before the loud noises, I was on a track, and now we're not on that track anymore. Music, no quarter. Shoot. Close the door, put out the lights. No one's coming home tonight. That means no one is going to stand in front of you with the shield and the spear and keep the beast at bay. Not this time. At some point, that happens for everybody. Joe Rogan talked about that a couple of times, right? I think he did a program called This Is Not Happening, where you can look this up on YouTube, by the way, where Joe, in a comedy club setting, was walking people through an experience that he had in a building that was burning, believe it or not. He was in a hotel, multi-storied, it's burning. And Joe's got to get the hell out of this thing when he realizes what's going on. He's trying to get down the stairwell or anywhere, and he notices that everybody is just milling nonsensically, bumping into each other, and not the hive mind is not self-organizing. Everyone's looking to everybody else to point a finger and say, go that way or something. I forget exactly what Joe did, but he just noticed, like, a lot of these people are just, they can barely get around. Look at their knees and look at their hips and look at their bellies and look at their pacemakers and look at their, whoa, Jesus, what in God's blue hell are you? I like you. You look like a moth. Yes. You're like a moth that Tim Burton dreamed up and showed the teacher in 7th grade. Got belittled and shunned for, and then came back and started a career based on. Beautiful. It's not, I mean, look around you. Where are we seeing black and white stripes around here? That was nuts. What's the name of that creature? Anyway, resiliency. It's important. I keep coming back to that image because I'm a little insecure. Not the biggest guy. Not the strongest guy. In fact, I'm so far toward the middle. You know, let's not worry about comparing over much. It's not going to help. Yeah, here we go. Back into the cities, sort of. But yeah, man. At some point in time, when the draft has been on long enough, when enough things have happened to enough people, there is nobody left. When everybody at the party is too drunk to realize that a zombie just bit 3 people who just then bit 3 more people, but you only had a few, or you had a little lemon strawberry tea and a turkey leg, and you notice that this thing is happening very quickly, and you notice nobody noticing, but you're a perennial apprentice type, not the master. You never coached a team at anything. You never worked out with firefighters and heard stories about them rocking. You were never in a unit in Afghanistan learning life on the line with your people. You just did what I did. Hung around. Moved like one town away from your hometown. Right as your 30s were coming on. What happens when that guy is the best guy in the room to fight the wolf? Oh man, you poor, sick, lame, young villagers are so screwed if I've got the broadsword and I have to fight the wolf for you. God, at least that's how I used to spin the yarn. And it used to really affect me. Those lyrics brought it up in a raw and painful way, but also in a... because the music was so good. And because I found that song in these last couple of years. The song's probably been out since the 90s. I mean, in terms of when Tool covered it. So it's far older than that even. But when Tool covered it and I listened, I was in my 30s. And at this point in time, I had been on the journey long enough. Yeah. Where it's like, well, no. No, I'm not the worst guy. Not the worst guy to fight the wolf. I mean, I've got my good stuff and my challenging stuff. You put me in a group and I'll typically just defer. But I'll participate. That didn't used to happen. I'll connect a little bit, which real participation requires at least a little connection. Argue with me. You can. How do you want to live your life? I prefer to think that way because it brings out a better me. And I'm talking about cooperation because I was just thinking about the difference in those analogies. Sorry, those metaphors. The wolf took down the champion. Then he took down the champion's squire. Then he took down the attendant who just happened to be passing by, who made a good name for himself at the gym. And now you got me. And I'm between him and the last hut. Oh, full of the sick and the pregnant. Oh, God. Oh. And I gotta make a choice. Well, that's one metaphor. The other metaphor that I used was the fire building. Okay. That's different, isn't it? One's more on you, right? In the fire analogy, one way or the other, I gotta get out the building. The wolf will find their prey and prioritize as wolves do. Fire just cares about where there's no fire because it wants fire to be there, particularly if there's O2 and kindling. These are, details, but still, oh my God. The cord has slipped, and now here we are. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to serpentine around again, aren't we? Okay. All right, we're back in the jiu-jitsu grasp of the phone wire. Tech only too happy to say, Mommy Milky, grasp, Find the teat. The arm is closer to the teat than the air in which I was dangling. Oh, run, man. Help me. I'm like, stop. You were fine at the wrist. Get away from my elbow. Oh, it's going to be so good. So good when I get a head cam. Oh, my God. Or a chest cam or something. Oh, man. It's going to get real. It's going to get real. Having said that, there's just layers and layers of discomfort. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot of difference between me doing things this way and me doing things that way. Perhaps just like there's not that much difference between fighting a wolf and pointing at the exit and saying, "Hey, one at a time now so we can fit. Let's get out of here. Kick that guy out of the way. He's way too high." I'll be at the back. I'll carry him the rest of the way. I have carried people before for very short distances. That's one thing I can say. Not huge people, but not small people either. Come to think of it, I've stood up and held quite a bit of other human weight a couple of times. That's good to know. Not for long distances. Again, no fireman. But when you run out of those, because they're fighting the real big fires, where things were way too apocalyptic and everybody who was worth a damn got cut down, and you got me, hey, I know I'm talking in circles a bit. I just wanted to, I don't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to really soak into the words, because this is how far I've gone. You find the utility in the things around you that you can. I'm good at that. I'm good at spinning. If something feels good, I'll hang around it. And oftentimes there'll be places in my life when I when a levee breaks. Thanks, Led Zeppelin. and all this new value comes out of these things, such as this good music. It's like, well, yeah, you're not going to be the best, but damn it, stand up and grab the spear. He's not going anywhere. Thank goodness, most of the time being a person, I live in a world where I personally have the option, and I've exercised that option, to stay the hell out of the danger zone a fair amount of the time. I've climbed some trees, I've skated down some hills. You know, I've run at precarious times in precarious places for long periods of time alone. Okay. I've driven under stressful conditions with people in the car and without people in the car, doing things that were important. You know, okay. That's something. It's not nothing. I'm just saying. Everyone's got their thing. But we, with our things and our plans and our lifestyles, often forget in the insulated little coves of our private tide pools that the wolf is out there. The ice age is coming, the meteor's coming, the something is something. Ing. Or not. And probably still better to be the guy who's ready. Or at least a little more ready than he could have been if he didn't do anything. Which, if you think about it, is a pretty optimistic statement, because that's all of us. Just like I said in the podcast introductions that I endlessly repeat, this is a ride-along. You're riding with me. If you don't think you are, I beckon and invite you to introspect. Find a memory. Find something. Every kind handshake is a ride along. Every time you give somebody a moment of consciousness when you could have blown them off, or decided to blow somebody off when you'd given them 100 chances, and they're just vampiring your shit and your friend's shit. Oh, God. It's a ride along. Ride along is a metaphor for development. Just any time that you develop your ability to live a life. It means you gardeners. It means you jugglers. Particularly if you juggle things that help people. You juggle. I was going to go somewhere with that. We didn't do it. Hey, the rest of the song, by the way, talks about the journey of people who have been around long enough to have been around the wolves here and there. And they have battle experience. And they have words for you. Or in the words of Led Zeppelin and later Tool, they carry news that must get through. Oh, I guess the verse is, they're wearing steel that's bright and true. That's a great metaphor. If your steel is bright and true, and you take that down to the most primitive possible spin, as I do, of course I do. What's the archetype that's speaking to? Skin. Thick skin. They have thick skin. Important news they're carrying. Oh. They choose a path where no one goes. That has value too. So much value. God, if I were a shaman, I'd be singing that song. I guess I am in this capacity for the second. It's good to honor those words. I don't care who says them. There are those who carry news that has the kind of value that it ought to get through to you. What a message that is. They're wearing steel that's bright and true. The ones who have come before and fought the wolves have developed thick skin. Come on, man, that's great. That's great stuff. And of course, there's they choose a path where no one goes. Come on, man. Potent. Sometimes you gotta go to the place where no one goes to find the shiny steel within that serves you to fight the wolves and get the knowledge and get the message out that it can be done. And then that person finds me, or in this case, because I live in the age of the internet, 1,000 of these people find me, or their words do. Woo, thank goodness, I need every single one of them, and every single one that's to come. And I will use them and honor them, as I do now with you. We could go into the rest of the song if we wanted to. You all probably know where I might go in reviewing the rest of those lyrics. They hold no quarter, they ask no quarter. Come on. They're real. Come on. In the Led Zeppelin version, Tool doesn't often sing this part. But Led Zeppelin continues with walking side by side with death. The devil mocks their every step. Snow bites at the foot that's slow. The dogs of doom are moaning low, or howling low. And then it just goes right back into how fucking awesome the Warriors are. Anyway, yeah. Consider for yourself where somebody with an optimistic, utility-oriented bend might spin lyrics like those. You might arrive somewhere different than where I might arrive, which is good. Because I don't want someone standing exactly where I'm standing when the wolves come. Oh, because we'd just be getting in each other's way, wouldn't we? No, you got to get a vantage point up on the thatches with your bowstring. And I'll bring out my broadsword. Ooh, a lot of wasp activity right now. Or yellow jackets, I guess is what's the name of them. Look at that guy. He's just hanging out, having a good old time. He's a young one, it looks like. Hey. Hey, buddy. It's much easier to be brave when I have a camera. Sometimes the wolf is anaphylactic shock. I've often wondered if Wim Hof could breathe away a rattlesnake bite. The answer is probably yes and no, and the details are life and death for a lot of people, as with so many things. Alright. Sitcast. 53 minutes, okay. Gotta sneeze. Oh, God. And then the eyeballs do what they do and twitch and seize. Oh. Alright. We talked a lot about music this time. I enjoyed that. Thank you for being with me on that. If I sounded a little harsh occasionally, it's because those lyrics were kind of harsh. I'm not in that place anymore, but if you tracked my tone and my candor and probably even things like my running speed and my sensitivity to this freaking wire that's on my... Well, now it's in front of me. Oh, God. Clearly I'm still affected by this thinking. And not only for the better. Resiliency is half soft, half strong. I spoke to a lot of strength. The softness is what I'm into these days, and, you gotta start somewhere. I don't want to work on everything at once as what it is, pan out that far. I'm not going to get anything done. Better to do a project here and a little journey there and break a deal the other place and, find some contacts here and there and then notice how there's synergy happening, especially because it follows my feeling. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next time. I don't know. Well, this has been Ride Along with Runman, episode number 27. I am your host, Runman. Come on down. Have a good day. I'm with you, you're with me. We rock this every day, one way or the other. We ride along every day, one way or the other. You really can't help it. You're a person. At least not the way that I carry about. Hey, 55:44. Okay, 3 breaths, right? Posture, cross the legs. Oh yeah. Huh? Something is on me. That's my mic. 3 breaths. Ready? Get off of my shoulder blade, you fella. Okay. 3. Okay, seriously. Sorry, this fly is insatiable for my sodium deposits. Ready? Ready. Chugga. Whew, okay, I'm gonna go inside where this fly is not. Oh, God. Oh, alright. Okay, take it easy, have a great day, love ya, and, see you later on the path where now some go. Oh my God, really? Really? I'm gonna kill it. No, I'm not. Have a good one. Happy Monday. Goodbye.